Thank you so very much. This commentary is pertaining, and she did a terrible thing. She did a very terrible thing, and now the bang has come down, and she's got to now pay the piper. I'm curious if she'll take a plea, plead guilty, say she was temporarily insane. What is Laken Snelling going to tell the world and a judge pertaining to what she did to her newborn baby? Thank you for joining me. The movie for this week is Scream 7, playing at a theater near you. Please check it out. Let me know if you like it. I'm going to try to check it out this weekend, but that's my movie for the week, Scream 7. Let's get down to business. People magazine. People is the source of this information. Grand jury votes to indict Laken Snelling on manslaughter charge. Autopsy shows newborn found dead in trash bag was born alive. Laken Snelling is set to be charged including manslaughter in the first degree, according to a press release from the Lexington Police Department. The three remaining charges were given to Snelling at the time. The state of Kentucky, manslaughter in the first degree is punishable by 10 to 20 years in prison. The grand jury arrived at this decision after hearing that Snelling's infant had been born alive, according to the LPD. That baby was wrapped in a towel and stuffed in a trash bag that had been stashed away in the closet of Snelling's room, according to police. The LPD also revealed that an autopsy report determined the infant's cause of death to be asphyxia by undetermined means. There is no word yet on when Snelling might be brought back to Lexington to be formally indicted on these charges. Snelling has been on pretrial release at her father's home in Tennessee since October. She had initially been granted the right to split her time between her mother and father's homes, but a little over a month into that arrangement, her privileges were revoked and Snelling was ordered to wear a GPS monitoring device. Officers with the Lexington Police Department initially responded to an off-campus home just a few blocks from the university on August 27th. Noises earlier that day, according to the affidavits. That call was placed, going over that. Once again, the call was made by the roommates. When officers arrived at the home, Snelling was nowhere to be found, having left her off-campus home to attend class, and taken in for questioning. So the last time I read this article, or an article pertaining to this information, she had decided giving birth. So once again, she went to a McDonald's and parking outside a student clinic before coming home, where she was detained, taken in for questioning. It was a few hours after her arrest and while receiving treatment in the University of Kentucky hospital that Snelling opted to waive her Miranda rights and speak with police, according to a pair of search warrant affidavits obtained by People. One of these affidavits was filed access to Snelling's iCloud and the other September 8th, requesting permission to probe her Facebook account. Snelling said that at 4 a.m. on August 27th, she gave birth to a baby which fell onto the floor of her bedroom, according to the affidavits. After giving birth, she stayed awake for another 30 minutes before falling on top of the baby and going back to sleep, said the affidavits. It is not revealed how long Snelling was asleep in the affidavits, but she said that when she did wake up, her newborn. Snelling allegedly told the officer that she then wrapped her baby in a towel like a burrito and laid next to the newborn on the floor of her bedroom. She said that this gave her a little comfort in the moment, according to affidavits. Snelling then went back to sleep until her alarm went off at 7:30, the affidavits alleged, at which point she cleaned up the blood and afterbirth in her bedroom, placed the towel-wrapped baby in a trash bag and her placenta inside of a Ziploc bag, which she also tossed in the trash bag. The initial autopsy to determine the newborn's cause of death proved inconclusive, and the medical examiner's report said that more testing would be required. After her arrest, Snelling was held at the Fayette County Detention Center until September 2nd, when the judge allowed Snelling to be released on house arrest in Tennessee after posting $100,000 surety bond. Snelling elected to withdraw from the University of Kentucky at that time, a school spokesperson told People. Prior to that, she had been a member of the school's stunt team, which finished as runners-up at last year's NCAA competition. So I said that she was a cheerleader, which to me is cheer team, whatever you want to call it. She's also known as a beauty queen. Here is a photograph of her first arrest in Kentucky last summer. Looking innocent there without the makeup, but that is usually what happens. We all look different when our faces aren't painted. Here is the young lady painted up. Hello, Danielle, how are you? Got 4 in the chat. I guess they're saying, we're waiting on Queen to get crunk. So, a little full, just had dinner a little while ago. Would you like Angela or would you like Beverly to bring you this commentary this late evening? Let's see. Who shall I channel? Let's go holler at Beverly for just a little while. What the hell were you thinking, little girl? See, your roommate suspected you were pregnant. That's what they told law officials. They knew something wasn't right, something was going on with you. That's why they went in your room. Because all that moaning and groaning you were doing to push that baby out, they obviously heard you in the AM. Hello, Vicky. They heard you. And so when you left to go to the school, McDonald's, Pookie's house, wherever the hell you was trying to go, because I think you were confused and disoriented, you didn't know what to do. You didn't know, should I go to class? Should I get something to eat? Should I go to the clinic? Where should I go? Did you even have pads to put on? Because everyone knows that you need sanitary napkins after giving birth. Did you have pads? That's what struck me strange. When they said, oh, she went to McDonald's, she went to the clinic, McDonald's, I was kind of confused, like, so you already had sanitary napkins? Just keeping it real. You already had sanitary napkins. How did you cut the umbilical cord? Help me understand. I'm trying to be diplomatic, but Beverly is in the room. So if any of you don't recognize this person in front of this camera, her name is Beverly. How did you cut the cord, little girl? What were your plans after giving birth and falling on top of the baby and falling asleep and waking up and falling asleep, waking up? You woke up, the baby was turning blue. You mean the baby had been blue? The baby got blue after you gave birth because you knew you did not want anybody to know that you were pregnant. You had been hiding your pregnancy while cheering on that cheer team, stunt team. Come on with it, Queen. There are pictures of you standing up on people's shoulders and holding people. Your belly was full, but nobody knew. They may have thought you was getting a little pudgy, getting a little, what we call college fat. Because some young ladies do gain a little weight when they go away to college. But you didn't have college fat. You had a whole kid in that belly. And what I don't understand is, not to be disrespectful to those of you who are pro-life, why didn't you get an abortion? You have a heavy South Detroit accent. Oh, not Detroit. I was a Southerner, darling. I was raised in Chicago, but I've been here a long time, so my accent gets a little Mayberry occasionally. How you doing? Thank you for joining us. You were running through your life in college, doing what college people do, which is enjoy themselves. But you had one little secret. That belly was full. And you didn't tell anybody. Because you probably didn't want nobody to talk you out of, I don't know what, giving the baby up, having an abortion. Could your mom not have raised the baby? And obviously your parents weren't together. And you know, Queen is good at reading people, because I remember when you were walking into court, or shall I say walking out of court with mommy and daddy, I sensed distance then. I couldn't put my finger on it. Now I know why. Mommy and daddy aren't together. So how long have your parents been separated, divorced? And what was the reason for the friction with the law enforcement? You going back and forth between the houses. No, they weren't gonna let you do that. Because one, you committed a crime in the state of Kentucky. And I'll tell anybody, that's the last place you want to commit a crime. And when I mean last place, I mean last place. Besides places like Georgia, Mississippi, hell no. Don't even abuse a damn dog in Kentucky. Did you hear what I said? Okay. The judge said, no, we're not gonna let you go run around. You're not getting ready to bebop around from house to house. Because we see you don't have good decision-making skills for a 20-something-year-old young person. Because the medical examiner says you suffocated your baby, but they don't know the means. So how did you unalive your child, Miss Snelling? If you thought people were gonna talk about you before, when all this shit popped off last summer, and you let it pop off right when it was time to go back to school, and you all were back in school, school had started and everything. I'm just trying to understand your mindset. You had to know that baby was due, and you going back to school perpetrating like everything is good, and you gonna be jumping and hopping around and bebopping around on a cheer team with a whole belly. And what's interesting is that you concealed that baby quite nicely. I'm gonna give you that. Oh, hell yeah, you did a damn good job. Because it could have been nobody like me, although I was much smaller, birthing time. But you did damn well. Because see, this is what happens with little people. Smaller people tend to conceal pregnancies well. And we've even heard the crazy stories of parents saying, I didn't know she was pregnant. You mean you didn't care that she was pregnant? Because one thing most people should know is their child, right? One minute they're wearing skinny jeans, the next minute they're wearing big old sweatshirts in 100-degree weather. You should be asking questions. So I want to know, did you tell anybody, Laken, that you were with child? Did you tell anybody you wanted to get rid of the child? You weren't ready to be pregnant? The guy you were dating, were y'all together, not together? Then they came all the way over here to Tennessee, dragging some little biracial boy into the mix because you used to date him and they was worried if maybe he was the baby daddy. So then they had to take his DNA to test against the dead baby. I said, well, shut your damn mouth. Y'all just love coming over to Tennessee, bringing us into the mix of foolishness. And I bet he was like, ain't my baby. I ain't been with her. Look, he young, but he know the rules. It ain't mine. It's not my baby. Guess he said, hell no, that ain't. She way over there in Kentucky. I don't fool with that girl. So you had us talking and gossiping over here in Tennessee, trying to figure out what the hell is going on with this chick. Because it was strange when they said they came to Tennessee. And I thought, what they come to Tennessee for? For what? To get your ex DNA. I bet he was like, what in the hell? So hell yeah, everybody was talking about you, sister. But like most crimes, as time goes by, people quit talking about it. They just wait until it's time to go to trial, which that's where your ass getting ready to go. So what I like to know is what the hell you gonna say? Let me tell you something, boo-boo. You facing 10 to 20 years, and you're a pretty girl, so you might be able to whine and fall in front of the court. You just better pray you don't get no crazy judge that don't give a damn. Because they're going to say, well, I'm going by what the medical examiner said. Your baby was born alive. So whatever lies you told in the beginning that the baby wasn't breathing, the baby was still, that's a lie. You killed your kid. And then you wrapped your baby in a towel. What did you tell the detectives? Like a burrito. That sounds so cold. I just wrapped the baby. I wrapped him real tight like a little burrito. And I put him in the trash bag. And I put my placenta in a Ziploc bag. And I closed it up. And I put the bag in my closet. And honey, I went and I showered, got dressed. And I ease on down the road. Huh? Help me understand. Most women who give birth ain't jumping up out no hospital bed. Hell no. The only thing she gonna do is get up to urinate and get right back under the covers. Not you. You giving birth in the AM, and then you doze off, and I guess you're trying to tell us you fell on top of the baby, and that's how the baby died. And then you came to, alarm clock went off, oops, I gotta get ready for school. I got to go to class. This lets me know you are detached from reality and that baby. Because let me tell you something, little girl. You had the nerve to put on your little Facebook page or IG page, a house, a man, baby bottle, all the things you want in life, okay? Probably won't. That's what I was thinking, Vicky. She's a pretty girl. She'll probably go in there and, one thing I can tell you, she don't have a good mindset. But she walked into, look, I'm gonna say church. She walked into court last year in a tight-fit red dress, a face painted up, and people talked about her. People talked about her like, where the hell you going? You don't go to court like that. You know how you go to court? Until the day you get a sentence. You go to court with least makeup. Considering your crime, you should have went there looking just the way you did in your mug shot. Matter of fact, no mascara, no nothing. You're a pretty girl. You can go without the makeup. You should have went to court in just a simple little dress, something preferably navy blue, no open toes, none of that. Hey, Queen, what I don't understand about these women, if they don't want a child, why don't you use birth control? Hey, Justice, I don't know. Like I said, when I talk about these stories, crime, I always let it be known because, people will come and see you and they'll talk shit. We all flawed, okay? We all make mistakes. But a lot of the things I talk about on this network are things that you know better. So you had ample enough time to get rid of that baby. You had enough time to go get the morning after pill. I assume you had some type of income. You living in that little ricky dicky ass house over there near the campus with them other girls. You had a car. You know Queen Googled the house. Look, I like the other YouTubers to be all in folk business. So I don't do all that court searching and I don't have that kind of time. I ain't about to be calling nobody courthouse because to me that's a bad mojo. When you start calling courthouses, you'll fuck around and be in a courthouse. Hell no, excuse my language. Ain't calling no damn courthouse to get no court documents. The Queen ain't giving up her coins to get no information on nobody. I let these other crazy ass people go dig it up. I'm not digging up nothing. I let it fall in my lap nicely. You had a house you were living in with the girls, little small house. Y'all splitting the bills. You had a car. You had a life. And that's what I'm confused about. How you ended up in this situation because all you had to do was take birth control. I know damn well they had a clinic over there at that school and you would have gotten the birth control free, just like it's free in most health departments. And we know you know how to lie. Do you work, ma'am? No, I don't have a job. I'm just a student. Why didn't you get some form of birth control? So the guy you was messing around with, let me guess, he didn't like condoms, because most of them don't. Most men don't like condoms, but they don't like what comes with not wearing them. See, none of you all were thinking, young and dumb. And this is the gist of the story. You then killed a whole kid because you refused to take birth control pill, which we already know you could have got free. You could have made him wear a rubber or he didn't get none. And what is he doing? Living his best life with some other chick and she's sitting around looking crazy like, oh, glad it wasn't me. Now, I don't know if you two were together or not, but he'd have to be really in love with you to still stick by your side after all of this that hit the fan. You understand? But he's young. And I bet you, his mom and daddy said, not her. She's pretty, but hell no. She can't make decent decisions. So you have to imagine her later in life. Come on, Queen, bring it on home. If you can give birth knowing you were pregnant, you hid it, and then the baby come out and you kill it, what the fuck was you gonna do later down the road when you actually had a husband and a whole house and 2 cars and a dog and a cat? I'll wait. When you didn't like running around carrying your baby and mopping glow and sweeping at the same time and vacuuming and fixing food and making dinner and serving your husband and having sex with him and doing what he wanted to do, what was you gonna do, Queen? Because you hold on a minute. You have told the world you could not hang. You could have even given your baby up. You can drop your baby off at a safe haven in most states. We have one here in Knoxville. The baby has to be up to about 6 weeks or so, 3 months. You can drop a baby off, a newborn baby. That's all you had to do. Drop your baby off at the fire hall and keep it moving. No questions asked. Nobody's gonna come find you, stalk you, nothing. So you had choices. And though a lot of states have banned abortions, I do believe there's somewhere in the universe you could have handled that business. See, what I can't wait is when you go to trial. I cannot wait to see what you're going to be wearing, how you're going to be acting, if you're going to be in the courtroom laughing with your lawyers, acting like you know, at the bowling ring. That's what I'm looking. I want to see some redemption. Because let me tell you something about women like her. I hope I'm pregnant. I'm trying. I don't understand how someone could. Well, damn, yeah, she was young and a fool. I don't give her a pass because she knew better. There's too much information out here for young people when it comes to birth control, sexual situations, circumstances. She didn't have to go down this road because she could have gotten rid of that baby if worse case besides unaliving, which really unaliving is the worst case. But before getting to murdering the baby, she could have had an abortion. She could have took the after pill, the day after pill. Come on. This is bullshit. And I want to know what that boyfriend was doing. Who is the baby daddy? How about that? Let me ask that question. While I'm sitting here calling folk boyfriends, who is the baby daddy? Because I bet you whoever laid with you, they thinking, oh my God. Oh, don't come knocking here. It's a fucked up situation. But it's a situation you didn't have to be in. This is going to follow you for the rest of your life. You're going to always be that blonde-haired girl that suffocated her kid. That ain't gonna never go nowhere, baby. You just another version of Casey Anthony. And she got to walk free. So what you're going to have to do is have you a fine lawyer to get in that courtroom and bedazzle 12 members of a jury. Because you can best believe some country bunking gonna believe the medical examiner lied and made a mistake. Well, are they sure she suffocated the baby? She don't look like the type that would kill a baby. She seems like a really nice girl, a really happy girl. She's beautiful. She's got nice parents. And so what? She pretty, so what? She's smart, so what? She can do acrobats, so what? She can jump up and down and cheer, so what? She's a beauty queen, was past tense, so what? She also have a a dead baby on her back. Shut your mouth, queen. You can't erase that. I don't give a damn what you talking about. Young people dying to go to college, wish they could go to college. You at a nice school. I've been up there before, many moons ago, 30-something years ago. Wonderful campus. One of our rivals from here, I live in Knoxville, Tennessee. Wildcats are our rivals, football, basketball. You had your whole life. This is what I don't understand. The fuck were you thinking? And we ain't talking about petty thievery. You ran a light. This be no different than shit if you hit somebody and ran. People judge you. Oh my God, you hit a pedestrian and you left the scene. You strike me as a person that would do that. You make me think of a young blonde-haired girl here in Knoxville who was very honorary and cocky when she drugged an older black man down the highway on his motorcycle. And she acted like she didn't know he was attached to her car. And she got off having a light sentence. She didn't have to do any prison time. And she still waited and came back to the courts to tell them, I don't want no criminal record. I don't want no criminal record. Who the fuck are you not to want something? You just killed an elderly person. What the hell wrong with you? You ain't sitting up in penitentiary for killing that old man. You drug a whole human down I-75. And I'm sure he was not a pretty sight when he got untangled from your motherfucking car. And they favored you because you were pretty blonde. Oh, I knew what time of day it was. You had a little money for the private lawyer. And I still don't understand what's the difference between a public defender and a lawyer, because both of them went to law school. I still don't understand that process. Why people get off on charges when they have a paid lawyer. What's the fucking difference? You both went to law school. Don't you know the same damn thing? But you got off. And you still weren't satisfied. You telling the judge, well, I want this record removed. I want this record removed. I had to pray about her. Because I had told myself, Lord, don't ever let me find that little white girl. Please, Lord, don't ever let me bump into her nowhere at the mall. Because it'd be a bad day in Knoxville. So when I think about how nasty you were after you have murdered a man on the highway and you got your ass off and still want to double back and say to the judge, I don't want this record, this criminal record. I'm thinking of this little blonde over here in Kentucky. She probably don't have no remorse either. Probably don't feel sorry, no redemption, no nothing. Probably gonna go in court playing crazy. Oh, I was going through a lot. I was depressed. I was this, I was that. My boyfriend broke up with me and I was trying to work things out and I didn't know what to do. And he told me we were gonna be together and he wanted to marry me. Then all of a sudden he dumped me and there I was pregnant. Hello, Brooke. Yeah, she did this to herself. Oh, I know you're gonna lay it on thick, but see, it's not gonna matter, sweetheart. It ain't gonna matter what your lawyers say when you go to court. That ME gonna get on that stand and shut it down. This baby was breathing when he came out of Laken Snelling. Checkmate. That's the noise they heard. They heard you giving birth. They heard you, because you can't hold that in. You might be able to do it when you're having sex. You can't do it when you're giving birth, baby. Come on with it, Queen, preach. Oh, hell no. Ain't no putting your hand and somebody got to put a pillow over your face. That's not the only way. They knew something was up with you, and I got a feeling they knew something was up with you, boo-boo, before you gave birth that morning, while you were going in labor and making all them sounds and probably beating the wall and all of that. Because you were in pain. Brooke, you're a mess, and that's what makes her a murderer. They knew what was going on with you. I bet you some of your friends knew you were getting a little pudgy around the belly. Because your friends know you better than anybody besides your parents, right? Who know you better? The girls you hanging with, the girls you living with. Woo, you getting a little thick around the middle. What's going on? Oh, I'm just bloated. Hell no. She was bloated for 9 months. And you hid it too. They showed them pictures. I said, look at this heifer. She done hid this baby. Jumping up and down, cheering. Jumping on top of people's shoulders and shit with a whole baby in her stomach. People was thinking last year, like, this heifer is crazy. That's why I believe you could jump up and get in your car after you gave birth, because you're athletic. Your body is made different than the average female. So I'm just assuming you could bounce back after giving birth. You ready to go jump on the trampoline? But I still felt like you should have been wanting to rest and lie down and get some sleep. Not no 3-4 hours of sleep. All day sleep. So I want to know, Laken, how do you feel now with this warrant that's getting ready to find you out? How do you feel? Because now we got to ask this. Who paid her first bond? Mommy, daddy, Bo, grandma, granddaddy. Stay woke, everybody. Who paid the first bond? Because now you got another bond, Cookie, and it's for murder, aggravated manslaughter, or first degree manslaughter, excuse me. Which aggravated manslaughter is a form of first degree murder, if you didn't know. I just found that out myself. Who getting ready to pay a bond now? Another bond, because it's a whole nother charge. You was just getting petty charges of abuse of a corpse and all of that, which to me is still abuse. It's still a heavy charge to me. Throwing a baby in a trash can. But you were, I just was scared and it was dead. I didn't know what to do. So how you kill the baby? I tell you, them damn medical examiners, they know they shit, don't they? It took them a while at first. They couldn't tell how the baby died. But then they said, we're gonna keep on working on it. And then it came back and said, you asphyxiated a newborn. Well, I would think a baby being that small, whatever you putting over the baby's nose and mouth, wouldn't the baby be inhaling that? So if you were suffocating the baby with a towel, wouldn't the baby have like some type of residue from the towel? Their little nose, mouth, lungs, I'm just saying. So you thought you could just throw that baby away, throw it in the closet, go back and live your pretty little life. But let me ask you something, homegirl, because I'm quite confused. Had your friends not went in your room playing I Spy, how long were you gonna leave the baby in the closet in the trash bag? Checkmate. You know, Queen don't miss nothing, baby. How long were you going to leave that baby in that trash bag? Because FYI, the baby will start to smell after about 2 days if he's not wrapped tight in the plastic bag. What were you gonna do with this baby, girl? Had them people not found that baby in that damn closet? I'm curious. How long are you gonna leave the baby in there? And then they said you cleaned up. So do y'all have hardwood floors in this house? In this house, did y'all have hardwood floors? You know, I'm curious. I'm gonna ask all the questions. You had hardwood floors or you had carpet? Because ain't no way you got no blood out, no carpet, I tell you that now. Because everything has been built up for months inside of your body and it whoosh, come out. And you had strength to clean it up. You one mean heifer, I'm gonna tell you that. The baby fell out, hit the floor. So what were you, standing up giving birth? Help me understand. The baby came out and hit the floor. So I refuse to believe you stood up and gave birth. The safest option would have been taking a bath. Let the baby come out in the water. And then all the residue would just run on down into the tub, shower, rinse it out. But that would be too risky. in case one of the other young ladies had to get up in the middle of the night and wee. How are you going to explain giving birth, going in labor in a bathtub? So you said, no, I'm going to do it in the privacy of my room. You should have got up in your car and went somewhere else. I don't care. Could have sat outside under a tree. Nobody would have known nothing because you wouldn't have been in your room. And there would have been no evidence left behind of a baby, placenta, this and that, nothing. But sometimes you just can't think of everything because you obviously did not think about the situation. You were doing what most young people do and older people too. You were just having fun, getting you some good sex. I'll worry about the consequences later. Well, later did come. In the form of a baby. And he didn't ask to be here. And he didn't choose you or that guy to be his parents. And he did not get to live. You made sure of that. You snuffed out that newborn. So what I have to tell myself, all that bullshit you posted to social media last year about what you want in life, your dreams, your hopes, you weren't going to be able to take care of no baby. Because I'm looking at the bigger picture. You had every opportunity to get birth control pills, ask the guy to use a condom, abstain, take the morning after pill, get an abortion. You chose none of those options. And you want Queen to believe that down the road, you were going to be a happy mother with a baby, babies, and a husband. Hell no. The lies you're telling yourself. Oh, if I get a chance to do it again, I'll do it right next time. I promise, God, I promise I'll do it right next time. I'll love my kid. I'll take care of my kid, and I'll do right by my baby. Because see, if you can think of murder day one, you will think of murder day two. Because in the end, that was the option that you chose, was to murder your kid. So there's no way you're going to make me sit here and say, down the road, had you got married, met a nice guy, had a home, both of you had jobs, you got pregnant, things started getting a little rough, you started having issues, mental, financial, husband ain't acting right, postpartum, whatever, you wouldn't have killed your kid. You probably would have. What do you mean insanity, if you ask me? What do you mean? Because see, we have to judge you according to what you've done. This isn't a typical thing of suffocating a human that's alive and breathing. That should not have never been an option because you had other options before getting pregnant. This isn't the 1600s, the 1500s, where you had sex with a guy and poof, you're pregnant. You had options. You chose not to use any of them. That's a you problem. And the guy who was screwing you, he needs a good swift kick in the ass too. Hey, what did you think was going to happen? You sleeping with this chick and you ain't using nothing. Are you not talking to the girl? Hey, you on the pill, you on this, you on that? I ain't trying to get no baby. I don't want to wear no condom, but are you on something? And then two, that don't mean nothing because she don't have to tell you the truth. Her way of thinking is insanity to me. Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay. Well, she might plead insanity. Might throw herself on the mercy of the court. I look forward to the trial because I can't wait to see what her defense is going to be. I can't wait to see how she's going to plead, if she's going to get to stay in jail, because now somebody has to come up with more money to bond her back out again. And another thing, I'm always curious when people commit these crazy ass crimes. What are they doing once they bond out? Oh, sweetheart, what have you been doing since bonding out last year? You working at the 7-Eleven, the Piggly Wiggly, the Dollar Tree, the Dollar General? What are you doing? And everybody knows who you are. People know your father, they know your mama. Hell, they know you. Are you still on social media? Hell no, you ain't got nothing to talk about. Brooke says she should be in jail now. Well, that's the part of the American dream. Even if you get in trouble, if you got the money, you can get your ass out. It's the American dream too. Get in trouble, here's your bond. Can you make it? If you can make it, get a bondsman, you can get out. But can she get out this time? Because now she has a new charge. Those were abuse of a corpse and concealing evidence and hiding a baby charge. This is the shebang. This is a manslaughter charge. Aggravated. I believe aggravated. Hold on. Let's take a good look at this young lady. Welcome to the Vod XL, everybody. If you're just coming into this live stream, we are discussing Laken Snelling. The source is People, if you're curious to the information. Dolled up and a mugshot. Pretty in blue, and then blue with no makeup. I believe that's blue. Give me your thoughts. Weigh in. Will she be able to get off? What will 12 members of a jury say pertaining to asphyxiation of a newborn? Will they find her guilty? Weigh in. I got some polls to put up. Sorry, I forgot to put up that poll from the last live. Please check out live number 1 from earlier, from Wednesday. Talked about various topics. It's a damn good live. It's worth your time. We talked about Nancy Grace near the end. Not Nancy Grace, oh Lord. Nancy Guthrie. We talked about the black girl arrested for killing her 2 girl children, putting them in the suitcase. We talked about that. We also talked about an older case that I thought was newer, but it happened in 19 of 3 black females who worked in a nursing facility, nursing home, and they had the dementia patients fighting one another. I talked about those douchebags. And what else did we talk about? So many other things, different topics. A grand jury in Fayette County voted to indict the 22-year-old former beauty queen on multiple charges, including manslaughter in the first degree, according to a press release from the Lexington Police Department. Once again, she caught charges last August of abuse of a corpse, tampering with physical evidence, and concealing the birth of an infant. So she now has 4 charges. First degree manslaughter. Weigh in. Will the district attorney offer her a plea? She's been a good girl. She's been complying. She's done what they asked her to do while out on pretrial release and a GPS monitor. If she obeyed all the rules, they might be nice to her. 12 members of a jury. I don't know. She get a nice looking guy on the panel or an old fat ugly guy on the panel and he might go gaga goo goo. No, don't convict her. She didn't mean it. She's a pretty girl. Let her live her life. She made a mistake. Should she be in jail? Number one. Number two, should she get jail time, a prison sentence? If she gets a prison sentence, how long should it be? 1 year, 6 months, 2 years, 3 years? The charge is consisting, 10 to 20 years by Kentucky state law. She get 10 years, she won't even do all 10. She'll be sick in that damn jail. You hear me? That prison, she'll be sick. Too pretty to be locked up. No Victoria's Secret in there. Can't shower every day. Wash your hair. Blow dry your hair. Use all your nice styling products and putting on your nice little makeup. Now, they do have makeup in prison. They can buy it. But the point is, you can get made up, but where the hell are you going? Nowhere. Getting made up to look at some other kitty cats. I'll pass on that, okay? Laken. What a mess you have gotten yourself into, girlfriend. But I do not feel sorry for you because many women have had children, weren't ready to have children, and they did not murder their child. And if worse came to worse, you could have just given the baby up. Took a leave from school for about 2 weeks. Got a doctor to write an excuse, say you're definitely sick, say something, and go off and have the baby, rest up, and gave the baby up, and nobody had to know. But instead, you were playing this role, which tells me you're good at lying. And in the end, it is your choice, your body, to lie about being pregnant. Because in the end, it is our choice to discuss our reproductive situations. We either discuss them or we don't. So by law, you had a right to walk around pregnant and not tell anybody. That's your right. Where you fucked up is once the baby came out, you killed the baby. And you hid the baby in the damn closet. That's where you messed up. And like I said, and I've always been saying since I've been on the wire, you young people have options. So there's no need to keep being a baby-making machine. I don't understand a young person wanting a lot of children anyway, even one kid. No, I can't see it. Because there's so much to living. Hello, no perspective, thank you. There's so much to living. And I say this for young men as well. You don't have to sleep with every female you see. You don't have to sleep with every woman that walks by, or a guy, if you're gay, whatever, homosexual, bisexual. You stop. You have to know there'll be repercussions. Come on now. And then you see these men, they just as trifling. They go out here and make all these fucking kids, and then next thing you know, they crying about child support. And, oh, the baby need this, and formula, diapers, and oh, then this other chick, she calling me. Then she talking about she pregnant, and oh, I got a 10-year-old, and I got to pay for the birthday party. And who you complaining to? Because somebody need to check your ass too. Wrap that bad boy up. You don't want no kids. You don't know if she's going to take a pill or IUD or whatever. Then you worry about your wee-wee because it's yours. It's your penis. So you stand in the gap for your wee-wee. Nobody needs to stand in the gap for what God gave you. So you let the chick know, hey, I really like you, but I don't want no kids. I'm telling you now, sister, I don't want no babies. Do you take birth control? What are you on, the shot, the pill, what you on? And you still should go ahead and use the condom, even if you believe she's on, because she could be lying. She could actually be wanting a baby. And we have a lot of stupid ass women like that, want to get pregnant so bad. Why? I don't know. You got time to have kids. Ain't no rush to have no kids. 17 years old, 18 years old. What you rushing for? For what? Then when it's time to go out and have a good time and people start inviting you places, you're frowning and shit because you ain't got no damn babysitter. Hell, that's your fault. I really want to go out of town. I want to go on a cruise. I want to do this. They're going to the movies. They're going bowling. I got these kids. I ain't got no babysitter. Well, didn't nobody tell you to lay down there about them motherfucking kids? And I do sympathize with people with children, but the flip side of me says, why am I? Who I feel sorry for is the kid because he didn't ask to be here. She didn't ask to be here. They didn't ask to be here. They didn't choose your monkey ass. This little older guy used to say that when he got drunk. Your monkey ass. That's short for monkey ass, if you didn't know. That's your monkey ass going out here getting pregnant. Everybody told you to go out here and have all these motherfucking kids. I can't even look at you straight. You come here talking about 6, 7 damn kids. You got what? I got 6 kids. You how old? Shit. What's the 6 fucking kids and you 25 and 26 years old? 22, 24 years old with 5, 6 kids. So your whole life, that's all you've been doing is pushing out babies. Having sex, twirling around, trying to be a porn star. For what? Because remember what I said in my last live about the one young lady that told me, I like the feeling of being pregnant. And she's a crazy motherfucker, let me tell you. This little bitty something, pretty girl, but she's not rap type. Because she just went to jail recently for stabbing her boyfriend. Because one of my ex-neighbors told me, oh, your girl went to jail. I was like, what'd she do? She stabbed her boyfriend in the arm or the hand or something. I said, because she's not mentally well. She on those drugs. She drinks a lot. And she has a whole bunch of kids that she don't raise. And as I told her months ago, get your life together. You're too pretty to be out here acting a donkey's ass, drunk and belligerent and high on dope. That's not the life you should want for yourself. Whether you have kids or not, it's undignified for a lady to be out here hollering and screaming and yelling and talking about what you did and what you sucked and all that. I told her, shut your mouth. One day, back when it was hot and she got to arguing with a stupid ass old neighbor about what they did in the privacy, you know Queen was hot butter. Because I told her, you a lady, you don't talk like that. Spoil says, how did they even remember their names and their birthdays? Well, shit, the schoolhouse can't remember them. You know what? I ain't trying to be funny. You know, I'm black, so I can tell these little jokes. The names that some of you black folks giving your children, please stop. Ain't nothing wrong with wanting to be different. But when your kids go to school, them white folks can't pronounce their damn names. I said that. All that Shamika, Laquan, Sharita, Kamika, and then you got 12 Ks and H's. And I've seen standard names where they add all these extra consonants and shit. And I'm like, I know damn well this ain't supposed to have no 2 damn Ks and no 2 damn H's in here. Just stop. You don't even know what type of child you're gonna have. If your child will even be able to read and write, if your child will be dyslexic, mentally slow, and you sitting here giving your child a name with 12 motherfucking letters. Spoil you a fool. Hennessy, tequila, burgundy. And guess what? In that order, what your name is? Hennessy, tequila, burgundy, Jones. Shit. I know some black folks think you ought to be ashamed of yourself. Hell no, I tells it like it T.I. is. That's why I'm the realest on the block. What your name is? Hennessy, tequila, burgundy, Jones, Jackson, White. The hell? Now, I like an exotic name. Like if you want to name your child Rain, R-A-I-N, or you want to spell it R-A-Y-N, okay. But all that extra sh and k and duh, stop. I get it. Nobody likes simple names. Mary, Steve, and John. But you also want a name that your child can pronounce and spell in school. Now, naturally, we have foreign people. They have different types of names because they come from a different place than Americans, and I'll even say the British. But my goodness gracious. But it's time for everybody to take responsibility for him and herself. We all have to do it at some point in life. And you young people need to start. You have your whole life ahead of you. And this story here about Laken Snelling is an eye-opener. This is not who you want to end up like. You don't want to be going to college, living your best life to end up knocked up pregnant, don't know what to do, and keep running around hiding, wearing too tight clothes, and your belly's still getting bigger. And then folks start talking, hey, what's wrong with your stomach? Hey, what's wrong with your stomach? And now you got to make up excuses. Oh, I've been sick. Oh, I'm bloated. Oh, I got a tumor. Somebody gonna say, well, did you go to the doctor? What the doctor say? He don't know. We got to run some tests. Yeah, he ran some tests. He told you your ass is pregnant. That's what he told you. And you don't want to tell nobody. You got a damn onion in the oven. Live your best life. That is advice I give to young people. I don't give older people no advice because we are just as hard-headed as young folks. And you can't tell older people shit. So I don't give advice to nobody older. If you told me something going on with you right now, I just say I'm gonna pray for you. I'm not giving you no damn advice. Because I had my own jacked up situations. I can't tell you nothing. But the young people, Queen gonna talk to you. Live. Go to school, get an education, get some type of training, save your money, travel, meet new people, keep your temperament down, keep your tongue in, treat people with kindness. You'll go a long way in life. And it's not to say you're not going to have bad days. It's not to say bad things won't happen to you. But Lord knows if you believe in the good book and the Bible and Jesus Christ superstar, you can make it through anything. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Live your full life. And you can look back and say, whoo, I've come a mighty long way. And now I think I'm ready to get serious about somebody. I'd like to meet someone and start a family. And if you're not a person that wants to have a family, that's cool too. You don't want to be a mother, that's cool. You don't want to be a father, even better. I've seen men older, my age, they don't have children. And the first thing I'm thinking to myself is, what? You 50-something years old, you don't got no children? You're 40-something years old, you don't have no children? Because it's odd to see men without children, just like it is women. But so many people have kids. But there are people who have made the decision to be responsible, or somewhat responsible. They did not have children. Maybe they were lucky. Maybe they were out there swinging it and throwing it out there and was not using anything, and they just got lucky. The female got lucky not to get pregnant, and the guy got lucky not to get a woman pregnant. But if there's anybody young listening to this live stream, I want you to think about the choices that you make in life. And that goes for the company you keep as well. Because you could be in a bad situation to where you end up still incarcerated by the company you keep. Bad choices, bad vices, getting drunk, getting high, getting tangled up with people, breaking the law. That's not a life you want for yourself. You don't want to be in the system. You don't want to be on probation. You don't want to have to go to prison, come out, be on parole. That ain't the life you want, I'm trying to tell you. Choose a better way. All this shit you see on TV and rap videos, if that's what you're into, fuck that life. Let them other fools have it. That's my advice to you. Let them other fools have that life. Don't make that your life. And like I said, bad things are going to happen. Even if you think you're doing everything right, you're making good decisions, you're trying to be around good, decent people. Yes, bad things are going to happen. People are going to lie, they're going to cheat and steal, manipulate, con. You might even start doing it. My best bet, my best advice, once again, just don't do it. Because you can bring trouble, invite trouble your way, okay? And you've seen people like that. Every time you look up, it's some drama with them. Just like this young lady. Where is she getting ready to go after all of this? Like, what is she doing? What type of work? Let's say she goes to prison, gets 10 years, 15, whatever. Hell, maybe not even 5. She comes out, what is she gonna do? Where is she gonna work? They gotta run her name. Wherever you go, they're gonna run your name. They're gonna run your name. And even if she went way across the country trying to find a job, something to do on the internet or whatever, because I don't know what her major is, it's still gonna be somebody that will recognize that damn name. Oh, Snelling, what do I know that name? Oh, that's the young lady who unalived her baby and threw her baby in the trash can, in the trash bag. Oh, thank you, Brooke. Honey, I wish I had some wisdom. You know, Queen had been down some mighty crazy roads in life. And that's why I always tell you all, I can't give you advice that I don't take myself. So as I always say when I'm talking to you, I'm a work in progress. But so far, I can honestly say, for over a month now, I have not backtracked with certain people. No conversation, no phone calls, no talking, no nothing. Sometimes you just got to go cold turkey and say, I'm worthy. And I don't want to play these mind games with you no more. Find you somebody else, baby. And I'm feeling pretty good these days. Things have been looking up for the queen, and I'm in a really good place. And I think, you know, certain things that have happened recently have put me in this place, but I'm trying to make it and trying to survive. And that's the best I can do. But thank you, Brooke. I appreciate it. I'm not going to hold you all because I'm already 1 hour into this live. But I wanted to bring you this information because I got the notification that there's an arrest warrant for Laken Snelling. So she will be getting extradited over, let me say, she'll either turn herself in to the Kentucky jail or they'll have to come get her from Kentucky to Tennessee and pick her up because Tennessee is where she's living. And I'm going to say this. We don't want your ass here. Mm-mm. And yes, I'm a sinner and I'm not perfect, but we don't need no baby killers here. So you take your ass right on over to Kentucky. Because let me tell you about Kentucky. They're going to treat you mighty, mighty fine. She going to find out. They're going to treat you mighty, mighty fine. As I told you, you do not want to get in trouble in the state of Kentucky. Ever. So she in the right place. She gonna fit in right nicely. Laken Snelling, everybody. First degree manslaughter of a newborn. It's a baby boy. The ME says she suffocated this baby after birth and wrapped him in a towel like a burrito and put him in a trash bag and put her placenta in a Ziploc bag. Both she threw into a plastic bag. Yes, she's gonna learn. And she threw the bag in her closet and went off to the clinic, McDonald's, came back home, and that's where she was arrested. Thank God for the friends who were nosy Parkers, and they went in her room and found the evidence. And I'm going to tell you, they had to have known all along that she was pregnant. They either didn't say anything to her or they questioned her about her belly. She denied it. But at some point, she was having morning sickness as mothers do. You have morning sickness while carrying a child at some point. And they probably thought back, way back to all of that if they were still her roommates. The time she was sick, the bloating, feet swelling, hands swell, all that comes, because all that comes later. She's had to have some of those signs. And somebody had to say to themselves, okay, I ain't never been pregnant, but this heifer looks and acts like she's pregnant. And for all we know, she may have told one or two that she's actually pregnant and swore them to secrecy. Please don't tell nobody. Don't tell the other girls. They won't understand. And that one probably said, well, what you gonna do? You're getting bigger and bigger. You're getting closer to a due date. What you gonna do? You gonna keep the baby? What you gonna do? I don't know. See, that's what I don't understand about this story. The more she's getting big, what was the itinerary? That's one thing I didn't discuss in this live. So I'm gonna say this before I leave. What was the itinerary, Laken? What were you going to do with the baby? Was this the plan all along? I'm gonna hide the baby, keep wearing tight-fitting clothes, keep jumping on top of people's shoulders, and yay, cheering, carrying this lie in my stomach. Lie to everybody around me, and I'm gonna give birth in secrecy. Nobody's gonna know. And if the baby comes out breathing, I'm gonna suffocate this baby, wrap this baby tight, put him in a trash bag, and throw him in a dumpster. Sounds about right. But it didn't go that way. Because somebody out there is laughing, saying, them damn nosy ass Karens went in that damn room and found the evidence. Because like I said, they probably already suspected you were pregnant. And when you went into labor, they could hear you. And they knew. They probably got out of bed and they crept up to the door. Something don't sound right. Let me hear. She sounds sick in there. What? She sounds sick in there. I think she's having a baby. What? Let me listen. They got up. I think your friends got up, sweetheart, and they put their ear to the door and they listened to you cry out, moan out in pain while giving birth. And they never said a word. They just waited to see what you were gonna do. So when you left out that morning, they went in your room and found the baby in the closet. Because think about it. One, you're going in someone's room without permission. Why are you going in there? What are you looking for? And why are you in that person's closet? Stay woke, everybody. I knew what time of day it was when I first heard the story that they went in her bedroom closet. I said she probably didn't do a good job cleaning up. She didn't think they were going to go in her room. She probably shut the door. But they heard it. They heard her giving birth and probably suspected all along she was pregnant. They was just waiting on the moment when she would possibly go into labor. And she did it at the house, in the room, door closed, but she couldn't stop the moaning because it's painful to give birth. What have I always said on this network? There's always an eye in the sky. Always somebody watching. Always somebody ear hustling. Always a nosy Rosie. And always somebody paying attention that something ain't right. And it's just a matter of if that person is gonna call the other person's bluff. And these girls did that. Amen to them, because they did the right thing. And she probably hates their guts. You went in my room, violating my privacy, digging through my things. You found a dead baby in the closet. You had no right. So did she ever say anything to them? I'm curious. Well, I can go on and on with this conversation. Laken, did you ever confront your friends about the baby and them snooping through your room? Because I think most women would be offended if somebody went in their room. But you were giving birth inside of a house. You were concealing a baby in your belly. And then you had the baby in the house where they also lived, and they hurt you. So much for privacy. Who was the baby daddy? Did you tell the baby daddy that you were pregnant? At what point did you tell the baby daddy you were pregnant? What did he say? What's his answer? And are we going to hear from the baby daddy in court? And will he give us a version of his relationship with Laken? Will we ever hear from her parents? How about her friends, the roommates? Sure, they're going to testify. Oh, this should be very interesting. Oh, somebody says karma don't sleep. Okay, bro, you're so funny. She probably ain't been sleeping because now she's got to go to jail again. And then she could get a smart ass judge that says there'll be no bond bail. I'm gonna let your ass sit in jail until trial. You ain't got nowhere to go. And you ain't doing nothing productive or important. Because I doubt you got a high paying job with a record about abusing a corpse. But people do get hired. People who've murdered people, child molesters, rapists, they get jobs. So somebody would hire. I ain't about to sit here and say that she couldn't get hired. Because murderers have jobs, so. But she won't be doing anything publicly. Because most people would not want that stigma representing their company. She'll be a behind the scenes person if somebody ever trusts her at a real company. But it'll still be only a matter of time that it gets back to the public, news reporters, where she works. Lots of questions. Will she get a bond? That's what I would like to know. And if she gets bonded out, who's going to pay it again? Daddy? Because she's already out on a $100,000 bond. So did somebody give cash or a signed house over? What they do? I think they said it was a surety bond. Well, that was for the other case I was talking about. See, I can't keep up. Everybody needing damn bond for murdering damn kids. And as for the little black bitch that killed her two daughters and put them in suitcases, you can rot in hell for all I care. You're another one I don't give two fucks about either, because you didn't have to unalive your kids. And if you think you're going to go into court and tell the judge and 12 members of a jury your boyfriend did it, you're still guilty. Because I think that's where you're going to take your case. You're going to try to pretend somebody else did it and you just went along out of fear. No. Because I was listening to somebody's podcast the other night and they made a valid point, which most of us are probably already thinking this. You had two kids who were put into a suitcase, more than likely murdered. You ain't carried no two suitcases at one time to be buried. Then you got to have something to dig the dirt up with. And we know that they weren't dug. It wasn't a lot of dirt dug up because that takes a lot of work. And if you did it in the winter, the ground is cold. So then you got to go back and say, when were the children unalive? Because just because they were unalive don't mean they went straight in the suitcases to the dirt. Say, whoa, they could have been in the house stored in plastic bags or tubs until somebody decided to carry them over there, that schoolyard, and drop them off, okay? So one, when were they unalive? How long were they stored in the house? Were they put in suitcases immediately and taken over there and buried? Or did they sit in the house for a while? See, lots of questions. And did she have help? Because right now, law enforcement is investigating her family and one of the baby daddies. Because we now know he has a criminal record for domestic assault or assault. So perhaps this last baby daddy liked to put his hands on her and other people, women. I don't know, don't have all the details, but that is what I heard. And for all I know, he beat your little girls up and you allowed him to. And then he beat them to sleep, literally. And you all concealed two dead kids. But see, this is where this is really dire. How do you kill two kids? You can't naturally explain two dead kids. But you can if you didn't want them. And you didn't want to be bothered. And you had a boyfriend with a temper who didn't want them. Am I right, Aaliyah? And you're looking a hot mess in court too. You looking nothing like this blonde-haired girl. She looks pretty when she goes to court. You looked a hot damn mess. Two big old Mickey Mouse pom-poms on top of your damn head. And then you lost your other child. The baby is now in the state's care. How about that? So the state didn't even give him to a family member. And then people are asking, where are they exactly? Where is your mom, your dad, brothers, sisters, cousins, aunties, uncles, grandparents? Nobody was asking about your two damn kids. So see, somebody got some explaining to do. Was she close to her family? Did she have friends, girlfriends? Was she on social media? Ain't nobody asked about them two damn kids? Okay. But the baby daddy of the 8-year-old says, I've been looking for my daughter for 5 years. I've been trying to get custody of her. So I'm sure he'll probably get a lawyer and sue the state of Ohio. But then we also have to ask ourselves, who is he and what type of life has he been living? Did he really try to get the kids? Is he a good guy? Does he have his own home, his own job, his own car? Because all those things matter when you're trying to get custody of a child. And we've seen what happens with guys getting custody. The child ends up going in a situation worse than where they came from, such as Harvey Montgomery. You remember how that case ended up. Daddy goes to court. They don't even do a background check and check him out to find out he didn't have shit, didn't have a home, and he's a dope fiend. And he ended up beating his baby to death. Checkmate. So the little girl went from a dope fiend mama who kept giving her back to the state, giving her back to the state, go get her, give her back, get her, give her back, to only end up with another dope fiend that murders her. So I'm leery of anybody that comes forward saying, oh, I wanted the kid. I would have taken care of him. I don't know you. It's no disrespect to your homeboy, but I don't know you and don't know that stupid motherfucker that gave birth to him. Because like I said, and I stand on what I'm saying, you don't have a viable job. You don't have a viable car. You don't need no kids either. Nobody wants to hear that you stay with your baby mama, your girlfriend. No, sir. You need to have your own to ask for rights for your kid. Because that's how children end up right back in the same messed up situation that they came from. Hello, how you doing? Yes, poor Harmony. And sometimes I think about her. And I also have made a comment about Harmony recently. Hello, how you doing, Mama? I said, that brother or brother-in-law that got on the news and he was talking, remember he was standing out in the rain giving an interview, looked like he was high then. And he was saying how the brother was, mistreating Harmony, hitting her. First thing I was saying to myself, well, what did you do? But what did you do? Did you intervene? Did you intervene? Did you put your hands on him? Hey, you don't be hitting no kid. See, you all supposed to be snatching him up when you saw him beating his little girl. And the wife, you were right there too. And for all I know, you were beating that little girl up. Birds of a feather flock together. And another thing I think of, which is the macabre part of the story, how they carried her around dead in a tote bag. That's a lot to digest. Too afraid to bury her, put her down somewhere, and just let it go. They were carrying a dead kid around, and then they tried to mush her up and do other things to her to cut her up, but it wouldn't work because they didn't have the adequate tools to dismember her. So what did they do? Put her in the freezer, some shit. He had her freezer, the freezer. This is stupid. You carrying around a frozen kid. Partial. Partial remains. And you think about that. So you see, Queen don't trust nobody about no damn babies. Because talk is cheap. And you're seeing more and more people who don't have the mental fortitude to deal with kids. And like I said, when you realize you can't handle it, you're stressed out, it's finances, it's mental, whatever it is, place your child with somebody else and just pray they'll do a good job. You don't have to hurt your kid. Because nobody knows what it's like to be a parent until they get in that position. And it is a hard job. Some people say it's easy. Everybody's situation is not the same. But you don't have to kill your kid. These were just demons. And Harmony paid the piper. And these two little babies in Ohio, same thing. No more. Because of some evil bitch. And frankly, as I said, I don't care why she did it. It don't matter. They're gone. And whether somebody helped her, talked her into getting rid of her kids, unallowed her kids, helped her in any form or fashion, your ass need to go down with her. Yes, it's horrible. 8, 10 years old. No dreams fulfilled, no playing with children, no more dolls, no more taking field trips, no more going outside, playing, riding bicycles, doing what children should be doing. You have a right to be a child. I don't care where you come from, who's your mom and daddy. You have a right to be a kid. And nobody has the right to deny you that damn right. Nobody. And every damn day, it's one story after the other. Baby missing, kid missing, teenager missing. It's always a damn story. So this is why I said what I said about this Caucasian girl, because all of these stories go hand in hand. One mutt couldn't take care of two kids, so she unalived them, buried them. Nice looking white girl, got a whole life ahead of her, gives birth and kills her baby, puts the baby in a trash can. Same game. Everybody lost. The two girls lost. Their mama has lost. Laken has lost. And her baby has lost. There were no winners. All because somebody couldn't make the right decision. Chose to not make the right decision. Sickening. That's my commentary. Follow me on the Newsbreak app. Check out my polls on the community page. I'm about to put up some polls when I come off this live. Take the polls, voice your opinion. Like, share, subscribe. Drop your comments below this video. Give me your opinion pertaining to Laken Snelling. What should happen to her? Should she take a plea? Should the state offer her a plea? How much time do you think she'll get in prison? Do you think there'll be somebody in the jury that will favor her? Hang the jury? Where do you think this case is going to end up? How? Will she get the 10 years, 20 years? No time. But that's what's recommended. If you'd like to donate to this great network, $Big Angie 129 Cash App. Stickers and chats are always welcome during the live stream. Thank you for your time. God bless all of you. Thank you all who came into the chat. God bless all of you. Thank you so much. I'll be back with more stimulating content and commentary. And once again, the movie of the week is Scream 7, now playing at a theater near you. I'm going to check it out by the weekend. And yes, I'll be going by myself, so I'll be in there hollering and nobody better not say a damn thing. Once I pay my damn money, I can scream all I want to. And I think I'm going to go see it during the day because I am not coming out of there at nighttime. I am not coming out of there at nighttime. And guess what? A motherfucker better not come in there with one of them damn masks on either. You come sit by me, baby. That's the day you see this big girl hop over a seat. Did you hear what I said? I'm climbing over seats and everything. There you have it. There you have it. Well, let me show you about us chocolate people. Now sit on that. I'm out of here. Thank you for your time. Vaughn Excel. Bye.